Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Gary Blackwood. Welcome back to the vlog. Back to the cash game action now that World Series of Poker is over. This is a session from the Hustler Casino in Los Angeles playing 5, 10 and then 10, 20. Crazy vlog coming your way today. Starting out with these pocket kings first hand of the day. It's gone limp for 10. Raise to 50. Call. I make it 240 out of the big blind. The first limper folds and the first raiser goes all in for $1,500. I of course make the call very early in the session. All in with pocket kings. Let's see if we can win.
You are way ahead.
How far ahead am I?
I have a pair below that one.
Is it higher than 10s?
It is 10.
Jack.
Oh, it's 10s.
10.
Twice as good, dealer.
10. If you want to play, you can put it on the list.
Do you have a diamond, Charlie?
Okay. Wow. How do you pay kings there?
Because I am a professional.
Yes!
Professional kings player. Let's go. Absolutely no help to my opponent here, and I am scooping in this $3,000 pot very early in the session. I'd actually lost a couple of pots in the build up to this one, so I'm only up about $1,000 so far, but definitely not complaining. We'll certainly take it. So the game today is really, really good. Lots of action players. They're there to have fun. They're talking about their home game that they play in regularly, which sounds absolutely insane. So I am wailing it up today, trying to get myself an invite. Case in point, next up I make it $35 to go in middle position with a 7 and a deuce. I want that home game invite. A fun player calls in the hijack on one of the regs. He makes it $135 to go in the middle blind. Unfortunately, that's the end of the 7 deuce adventure. Just kidding. Obviously, I make the call. Can't impress my new friends if I fold now, can I? The other player calls. We go 3 ways to the flop. It is 3 deuce with 2 spades. Pretty good start here for the 7 deuce adventure. Middle blind bets $125. I make the call, as does the other player. This adventure is starting to get a little sticky now. To the turn, it's an offsuit 7. I've now got 3 pair. Middle blind checks. I decide to check as well, and the hijack takes a stab for $375. Really happy to see the middle blind fold here. I, of course, make the call, and we see an offsuit 9 roll off on the river. Pretty safe if you ask me. So when the hijack bets again for $500, I don't spend too much time tanking. I make the call. He tells me I'm good, and he turns over ace 5 suited. I proudly table my 7 deuce, get a little cheer from the table for doing so. Invite me to your home game. Excuse me. All right, next up, early position is limped. One of the regulars makes it 75 to go from the cutoff, and I look down once again at the Kardashians in the small blind. They just can't get enough of me today. $275 is the size of my 3-bet. I typically go 4x out of position, but the $75 isolate is pretty big, so I decide to take a little off of it. My opponent makes the call. We go heads up to the flop. It is king, queen, deuce with 2 diamonds. Really nice flop here, flopping top set. I bet $200 around 1/3 pots. Lots of folds in the cutoff range here, but thankfully he's got a continuing hand. He makes the call. To the turn we go. It's an offsuit 10. I decide to keep betting here. I bet again for $350, setting up for the river jam. This gets called very quickly by my opponent to the river. It's the worst river of all time. It's the jack of diamonds. Straights and flushes get there, so I tank for a little bit and check. Happy to see my opponent snap check back, and when I show him top set, he turns over king jack for river 2 pair. I thought he was showing me a winner there when he turned his hand over. Thankfully for us though, it's another nice pot coming my way. Up about $2,500 for the day so far, building my stack up nicely for the day, only for Sashimi to knock it over while I'm in the bathroom.
Sashimi's running away. She's running away. She just...
Fortunately, I've got a lot of experience stacking up chips, so it doesn't take too long until we are back to normal. As mentioned earlier, the game today is really good. Just like everywhere, this game is sometimes decent, sometimes it can be a little dry. It's just your classic 2023 live poker game, but today it's really, really good. In this next hand, under the gun is blind raised to 50, middle position calls. I call in the small blind with king, 9 of diamonds, and the big blind makes it 260 to go. The blind raiser gets out the way, the first caller calls, and I call as well. Just need to make a pair versus the raiser and then play for all the chips. To the flop, can we do so? Not even close. It comes down 8-8-4 flush draw with no diamonds in sight. The raiser bets $375. Both of us fold. No help for us there, but there have been so many spots like that where the raiser has just shown up with complete air. I just need to make a pair and call down versus these guys, so I'm going to continue to put it in light-ish on the flop, see if I can make a pair, and then just go with with it. Currently up about $1,000, and after 4 hours we decide to move the game over and play 5, 10, 20. We have some new players playing. One guy sits down with $6,000 worth of Baccarat chips. What a fucking game we've got today. Let's try and clean up as best as possible. First hand of note, I'm in the cutoff with King 5 of clubs. I make it $50 to go. The small blind is going to put in the 3-bet, very small 3-bet to only $160. The big blind is going to cold call. I wasn't folding anyway, but even less so now. I call and we go 3 ways to King 3-3 Rainbow. The small blind fires that c-bet here. The big blind makes the call. I, of course, call as well. To the turn we go. It's another 3 full house now for me. And when the small blind bets again, the big blind decides to get out of the way. I'm now just shutting my eyes and calling down on every run out. The river is the brick of all bricks and offsuit deuce. The third edition of the small blind's triple barrel trilogy is $800. Snap call from me, and he actually turns over ace king. We're going to chop this one up. A little disappointed, to be honest, given he's a bit of a loose goose. He's supposed to have a lot of bluffs there, but I suppose it could have been a lot worse. Lots and lots of multi-way pots going on today, and we're also playing the stand-up game. Super quick for those that don't know, everyone stands up. If you win a pot, you sit down. Last person standing has to pay out a bounty to everyone at the table. It creates tons of action, which I am, of course, all for. One of the players at the table has got a bad knee, so instead of standing up, we're playing the stand-up game sitting down, but you get a $2 chip if you win the pot to signal that you are safe. The game is on during this next hand. I pick up ace king in early position and raise to $60. The player in middle position puts in the 3-bet to $225, and when it folds round to me, I decide to just 4-bet jam for $3,200. My reasoning for this is very simple. This is the kind of player that's going to make the call with ace queen, maybe ace jack, maybe ace 10 suited, and also there's only 3 of us left in the stand-up game, so if I take it down now, I am saving myself the $400 bounty I'd have to pay out. After a few seconds, MP makes the call, and he's actually got pocket queens. A little surprised to see him as strong as he is, running it twice for this pot worth almost $6,500. The top board is the one that counts for the stand-up game. Over to you, dealer.
Headphones.
Oh, that's not me.
Okay.
That's not me. I want to sit down. Ace or a king. Ace or a king.
There's no way we don't chop it.
Oh no.
No aces or kings.
5.
Oh, you got
5.
different
5. Oh, that's a.
Wow.
This $6,400 pot is going to slide the way of my opponent, and on top of that, I am now in the red for the day. Nothing else I can do other than pull out chips and keep on grinding though. 5 minutes later, I'm in the $40 straddle. There have been 3 limps and I look down at ace queen offsuit. I put the price of poker up to $300. Everyone here is going to make the fold. Apart from the small blind, he makes the call. We go heads up to a flop of ace, king, 8 rainbow. Really good flop. He should have no sets, very few 2 pairs, and a decent amount of 1 pair hands. So I bet out for $260. The small blind makes the call. We're going to go to the turn. It's an offsuit 10. Not the best. Some more hands that now beat us. So when it checks to me, I decide to just check it back, try and control the size of the pot. The river is another 10. Super annoying. All his jack 10 and queen 10 have got in there. And my kicker doesn't play anymore, so I decide that there's no value to be had. I check it back and announce my hand. My opponent tells me I'm good. He mucks his hand without showing. And I drag in another nice 4-figure pot to start the healing process after losing that flip in the hand before. So as mentioned, the stand-up game is on. It creates a ton of action. We're playing it again here, and the guy with the bad knee has left the table, so we're actually standing up now. There's no straddle this hand. 3 players are left standing, one of which is under the gun. He raises to $400. Next up is an older fella who ain't no nit that you guys have seen earlier in the LA Diaries. He is also standing, and he shoves all in for $900. It falls round to me on the button. I look down at 2 red 10s. Both these guys are still standing up, and they'll have loose ranges as a result, so I decide to go with it. I move all in for $3,500. I think I have fold equity versus under the gun. I really wouldn't mind seeing him fold, but after a few seconds he does make the call. I turn my hand over, the shorter stack turns over ace king, and the crypto millionaire who opened under the gun tells me that he doesn't want to show because I am way ahead. That is very good news, and the good news keeps on coming when there's a 10 in the window. 3 clubs though, don't love that. Ace on the turn feels pretty safe. To the river, oh, it's a 4th club. That cannot be good. Please, not like this. Under the gun then turns over his hand. He's got pocket queens with the queen of clubs. He told me I was way ahead. I thought we were friends, bro. In all seriousness, these guys play poker mainly in their home game. I assume slow rolling is all the rage. It stings a little bit, but I really don't mind it. These guys are just here to have have fun. Nice hand, sir. So at this point in the game, I am down quite a lot of money. The stand-up game has finished. I have survived both rounds so far, and 10 minutes later, it is back on. These guys love the action. The $40 straddle is on. There's been a limp. I have ace queen of diamonds in the cutoff. I raised to $200. My buddy Sashimi to my left. Then Snap makes it $800. Very, very quick raise from her. The big blind then cold calls the $800. What the hell is going on in this game today? I've only got one option here for what feels like the 100th time today. I am all in. Sashimi makes the call, the big blind thinks for a while and then gets out the way. We're going to run it twice here for this pot worth $7,000.
First board stand-up game. Okay, ace, red ace on the flop dealer.
King of diamonds.
Woo!
Ace.
Okay, good, deuce. Okay!
Wait. Twice.
I completely forgot about this in-game. The dealer put the deck down, gave us all the fright of our lives. Running it twice here, remember, second half of this pot worth $3,500.
Not once.
You see this
Oh,
King Jack right here?
wow.
You see this King Jack right here?
Okay. There's no kings left in the deck.
Oh, I win the second board.
Hit! Straight!
Yeah. Chop it.
Alright, chop.
Thank fuck for that. The second one runs out favorably for me and I don't get stacked once again. Because I lost the top board though, I am still standing up. I have never in my life lost the stand-up game. I'm worried about my streak right now. Hopefully we can keep it going. Next up, I'm in the hijack with King Jack offsuit and make it $50 to go. The button makes it $200 to go. He's sitting down, and even if the stand-up game wasn't on, I'd still be calling this just because of the amount of action that these players are giving. But even more so with the stand-up game, it's still on. To the flop we go. It is King, Queen, 9, Rainbow. Really good start for me here. I check and he bets $400. Nothing else I can do other than just call. The turn is the 7 of hearts. I check and he decides to check this one back. To the river, it's the 4 of hearts. Runner flush, but I think I have a very clear value bet in a game like this. I bet out for $700. After a few seconds, my opponent turns over his hand. He's got 9-8 of diamonds. He starts trying to negotiate with me, and I'm not the best at this speech play stuff, so I decided that if I give him a discount, it looks like I want called. So I just make myself look as nervous as possible and tell him no discount. It's gonna get the job done. He puts in the money, and I managed to get paid off by his face-up 9-8 of diamonds. I am a speech play lord, it would seem. A very nice pot coming my way, hoping to continue this upward trend. Next up, I pick up pocket 10s. Unfortunately, the camera doesn't pick up this hand, but I'm gonna whiz through it because it is a very, very fun one. Under the gun makes it 60 to go. MP is called, and I can definitely squeeze here, but I decide to just call this time. That's going to bring in the button as well as the big blind. We're 5 ways to jack 5 deuce rainbow. It's never just queen 10 deuce flush draw, is it? MP bets $150. I don't love the overcard, but decide to just call one. I can for sure still be ahead here, and we get to see what happens on future straights. The button decides to then raise to $320, a very small raise. MP snap folds, told you I could be beating him, and I of course call for 170 more. To the turn we go. It is an offsuit 3. I check and the button bets again, this time for $600. I'm not going anywhere just yet. I shut my eyes. I make the call. To the river we go. It's a queen, another overcard to the board, and the button bets again, this time for $1,300. This looks like an unbelievably loose call from me here, but the button has been bluffing his ass off all day. I shut my eyes, I make the call and lose to 5 deuce offsuit. No! Such an annoying hand to lose. It feels like this has killed off all the momentum I have been building up in trying to get out the hole for the day. I am officially down 5 figures in the best game I have ever played in my life. Is it time to maybe quit and come back another day? Absolutely not. I reach for more chips and I soldier on. Next up, I'm on the button with ace king offsuit. Under the gun limps for 20. MP makes it 125 to go. The hijack calls, the cutoff calls. So much action before it gets to me. I then make it $500 to go. In hindsight, maybe a little small. The limper folds, but all 3 of the other players make the call. We go 4 ways to the flop with over $2,000 in there. Can we catch a piece? Nope, it's 5-5-3 rainbow, not what we were looking for at all. And when it checks to me, I decide to just check back. The turn, though, is the king of hearts, finally catching a piece. in this very chunky pot. It checks to me and I bet $650. Really no need to go massive here. I guess we could go like 800 if we really wanted to, but 650 is going to set up for the river jam if I get called. The first two players, they get out of the way, but the cutoff, he sticks around to see the river. It is the 6 of diamonds, safe enough, so I move all in for $1,900. Pretty big shove, and not loving it when I get a very, very quick call. I turn over my hand and the cutoff. Mux, let's go. I have played multiple pots worth over 5 figures today, and I have finally won one. Could this be the start of a 5-figure comeback? It's been a very frustrating day so far, but this feels really good to finally win a big pot. Maybe, just maybe, we can keep this momentum going and get out the hole for the day. Alright, next up is a very fun hand. We are heads up in the stand-up game versus a local pro called Charlie. I've tangled with him a bunch of times in the past. Very good player. We're heads up in the stand-up game. If either player wins a pot, then the other player owes $50 to everyone at the table. That's $400, and I have also never lost the stand-up game, as mentioned a few times already today. So my pride is very much on the line as well. Under the gun +1 has blind raised to 60 when it's his turn. Charlie has made the call. I'm in the blinds with 7-6 suited and make the call as well. To be honest, I'm calling literally any 2 cards here. Don't want to lose the stand-up game. We go 3 ways to ace, 9, 8 rainbow, an open ender for me, but no backdoor flush draw. The blind raiser bets out for $125. Only I make the call. Just need to find a way to win this pot with Charlie out of it now to not lose. The turn is a 9. I check, and the aggressor bets again, this time for $200. Now, remember earlier when he was using big sizes with 5 deuce offsuit? Well, that's been a bit of a trend of his, it would appear. So I see the small bet size is pretty weak, and I have equity, and I need to win this pot for the stand-up game, so I put in the check raise versus the Maniac to $775. He makes the call, and he literally tells me out loud that he is drawing. Now, there's no flush draw on board, so he must have a straight draw. Remember, he came into this pot blind, so he can have hands like 7-6, 10-7, Jack-10 offsuit, all those types of straight draws. To the river we go. It is an ace. I bet $900 praying that he doesn't actually have an ace or a 9, but he makes a very quick fold. He must have been telling the truth. Huzzah, my bluff has worked. I have to show my hand to complete my safety from the stand-up game, but I would have been shown it anyway. Another nice pot coming my way, starting to once again slowly climb out the hole. Next up, MP has opened to $60. He has just been stacked in the hand before. I have ace, queen of diamonds in the hijack and make it 180 to go. The button is the player in the previous hand. He decides to cold call, and MP then pops it to $600. I'm quite deep with the button now, so even though MP is short and looking very strong here, I make the call, as does the button. We go 3 ways to king 8-3, complete swing and a miss. All I need to do is flop a pair and just go with it here. MP is going to c-bet and take it down. When the hand is over, I quickly show my ace queen suited, and the button shows queen 5 offsuit. I tell you what, if the flop was queen 8-3, that could have easily been a 15k pot. This has been a really, really fun day, and despite being stuck about 5k and still having to deal with Sashimi doing this at every opportunity, I am enjoying the social aspect of the game. The non-pros are super interesting guys with some fun stories to tell from their regular day jobs, but despite all the chat, anytime a pot is going on, it is war. Next up, I am in the straddle with pocket 10s. Under the gun makes it 65 to go. A pro who is new to the game calls, and I put in the squeeze to $330. Under the gun makes a call, as does the button. 3 ways to the flop with $1,000 in there. It is queen 10 deuce with 2 spades. I have absolutely smashed this one at last. Now, under the gun is a bit of a maniac, and the pro on the button is very aggressive, and I am out of position versus both of these players, and we're all very deep, and I would love to check raise here, so I start out by checking. A risky play, because if it checks round, I have lost a street of value with a very, very strong hand. Thankfully, however, under the gun is going to take a stab here for $500. The button folds, and I put in the check raise to $2,000. This is a huge check raise, and what's more, my opponent is going to make a quick call. This pot is escalating. To the turn we go. It is a king. Some straight draws get there, but so many worse hands that can still call a bet. I decide to keep firing. I bet $2,800. It takes my opponent 90 seconds before he makes the call. This tells me that he probably isn't on a draw. He'd call that much more quickly and is much more likely to have a queen or maybe even a 10 he's getting very, very sticky with. There is over $10,000 in the middle heading to the river. Please, dealer, keep it clean one time. Yes! It's an offsuit 4. What a relief. And I move all in for my last $3,000. My opponent makes a very, very quick fold, and asks me to see my cards. I of course oblige and show him that I had a set of 10s. He turns over Jack 7 of spades. My read was very, very wrong on that turn, Tank, but my god, what a relief he didn't hit one of his 15 outs that would have swung me into being down 13k for the entire day. After winning this hand, boys and girls, I am officially out of the hole for the day. This is officially a 5-figure Restucco, and I'm absolutely delighted to be winning. Not long after this hand, the action drastically slows down. The fun players start to pick up and head home for the day. We're now 5-handed, pros only. We keep playing for a little while, but eventually the game does break. On to our final hand of the day. I pick up Ace Jack on the button. The straddle is on. I open to $100. I get called by the small blind and the straddle. We go 3 ways to Ace 10 9 rainbow. I decide to see bet here for $150. The small blind sticks around, the big blind gets out of the way. We go heads up to an offsuit 3 on the turn. Easy second barrel for me. I bet $425. Once again, the small blind sticks around to see the river. It's an offsuit 8. I decide to just check this one back. I beat her Jack 10 offsuit and drag in a nice pot to finish off what has been an insane day of poker. Unbelievable action, huge swings, great banter. Probably one of my favorite days of playing live poker in my entire life. Guys and girls, what a day, what a session. I was down about $9,500 at one point, but I battled back. I played well, I played bravely, I was courageous. I played my fucking heart out today, and I'm so happy to get out of the hole. I won $2,000 approximately in the end. It was insane today. We started out playing 5-5-10, we opened the 10-20, the action was crazy. It was so good. It's not always like that. Used to always be like that in LA, but it's not always like that anymore, so really happy to kind of roll back the years and play in a crazy game. And I'm so happy to get out of the hole. I was down a lot of money at one point, so really happy to book a win. Until next time, take it easy.